Today's class is on Christianity in the early Middle Ages. First, we look at the rise of papacy, how the office of Pope became so powerful, and Pope became the vicar of all universe. It has a historical background. The Roman Catholic Church considered Peter as the first Pope, the Bishop of Rome. However, at that time, there was no office for Pope or papacy was not developed. It was mainly developed with a person called Gregory. When Gregory I became the Bishop of Rome, he became so powerful and that resulted in the rise of papacy. The year 590 is considered as a turning point as Gregory I, who is usually called as the Gregory the Great, was chosen as the Roman bishop in 590 AD. He was unblemished in character and he was honored for his goodness, and he was very well known for his severe self denial, and his practical life put him at a very good advantage. Along with warm sympathy for human need and a noble vision and ambition for Christianity, he was a voluminous writer. He wrote several volumes of books. Of course, not a great scholar, but his writings had much influence in his time. And also, he took a keen interest in the ritual and also the music of the church and did a great deal to promote all these things in the church. So, Gregory I was unblemished in his character, honored for his goodness and severe self denial, and his practical life put him at a very good advantage, along with warm sympathy for human needs. He helped several people and he had good vision, noble vision, and ambition for Christianity. At the same time, he was a writer, wrote several books, and he had keen interest in the ritual and music of the church, and this did a great deal to promote all these things in the church. So Gregory the Great became the Bishop of Rome, and with all these qualities he had influence even in other churches, and he used his remarkable gifts to strengthen the position of the Roman bishop. We need to remember one thing: the church at Rome, though Rome was the imperial capital, the church at Rome was not very influential when we compare with the churches in Asia Minor or the churches in other parts of Macedonia. However, later, when Gregory the Great became the Bishop of Rome, the church at Rome has more influence, and he used his remarkable gifts to strengthen the position of the Roman bishop. He asserted his authority and he enforced it, and he made other metropolitans subject to the Roman Pope. Metropolitan bishop simply means the bishop who is in a metropolis. Metropolis means city. So the bishops who are in the capital or the headquarter, or we say the important cities, were known as the metropolitan bishops. But now mainly we call a metropolitan bishop as the bishop who is in the headquarter. But literally metropolitan bishop means bishop in the metropolis or metropolitan cities. And he enforced the use of the Roman ritual which he himself developed in many churches, and because of all these things he gained influence and this increased his influence in the church. So he was a man with remarkable gifts, and he strengthened his position of the Roman bishop by using his power, his gifts. And he also asserted his authority, and he enforced it. And also he made other bishops who are in other metropolitan cities, and he made all those bishops subject to the Roman Pope, and he enforced the use of the Roman ritual, which he himself developed in many churches, thereby increasing his influence. And he also sent out missionaries. And whenever the missionaries go and start a church, they all these churches subjected to the Roman bishop. His best example, he sent Augustine to England as missionary. And sending missionaries was not, of course, aimed at strengthening the Roman authority, but it nevertheless increased the influence of the Roman church. And he put his whole energy into purifying and strengthening the church, caring for the poor, and the spreading of the gospel. So by sending out missionaries, he gained more support from several churches, even outside Rome. And he also used the whole energy to purify and strengthening the church. He also were very much interested in caring for the poor and the spreading of the gospel. So with all these things, Gregory I became very powerful. And that is how the church at Rome became so powerful, and that resulted in the rise of papacy. And some other factors which helped in the rise of the papacy. The first one is the Pope, the only strong ruler in the West. There was no civil government in the West from 400 to 768. So there was no proper government in Rome from 400 to 768 due to some political unrest happened in the Roman Empire. And in these vacuums, there was no ruler who could give justice, peace, and order in the West. And in that time, the Bishop of Rome or the Pope even acted as a king, as a ruler of the state. So Pope was not just the head of the state, he became the ruler of the state as well. So the Pope, the only strong ruler in the West, gave papacy more powerful and started controlling even the government, even the state. In addition, the Bishop of Rome held a time-honored position with wide authority. Many of the Roman bishops were also very capable people. And so in all Western Europe, for many years, Pope was the only representative of permanent government. In this situation, the power of the papacy inevitably grew throughout the West and to a lesser extent in other parts of the church. So in Rome, and especially in the West, the entire West, especially, Pope or the Bishop of Rome became very powerful compared to other bishops. That is how papacy was developed, because there was no proper ruler in the West for many years. So in that vacuum, Pope acted not only as the head of the church, but also as the head of the government. Secondly, the Pope stood for righteousness. After Gregory, Some of the popes, particularly in the later years, were representatives before men, not merely of authority, but righteousness, and they checked kings and rulers who wanted no law but their own desires. The popes started checking the rulers when they go wrong. There are several examples. Lothair, king of Lorraine, changed his wife, and he also forced the archbishop of his realm to approve his action. But at that time, Pope Nicholas I saw in this a serious threat to general morale or general morality. And after a long struggle, the Pope compelled him to take back his former wife and dismiss her rival or the other wife. So, this was possible with a king only by a pope. Pope became more powerful than the king, and no other power in the world could have done this, but the Pope could do it because he has the power of excommunication. Excommunicating, sending out or declaring a person as not part of the church. And in those days, excommunication, which was by this time believed to mean eternal death. Salvation was only through the church, according to the Roman Catholic understanding in those days. So, if you are not part of the church, you are eternally perished, or it means eternal death. So, excommunication is a serious issue. So, the popes who stood for righteousness, they started excommunicating people who were going against morality, and this gave more power to the pope, and people started accepting pope than the kings, and thus the pope stood before the world for something greater than the king's power, that is the moral and spiritual law, and this made the papacy very powerful. And another factor was the advancement of Islam that resulted in the rise of papacy. The Muslim Arabs occupied Western Asia, Africa, and the churches there became terribly weakened. The eastern part of the world mainly occupied by the Muslims, Arabs, and the churches in the east became very weak because of the Islamic inversion, and 3 of the patriarchs fell to the Muslims. Patriarchs means the bishops or the head of the Eastern Christianity. So the Eastern patriarchs, 3 of them fell to the Muslims, such as the Patriarch of Alexandria, Patriarch of Antioch, and the Patriarch of Jerusalem. Meanwhile, in the West, the church was expanding through its missionaries. Thus, that part of the church which acknowledged the Pope's sovereignty gained in importance. At the same time, in the eastern portion, where it was denied, became smaller and weaker. So, when Islam conquered the Eastern Christianity, Eastern Church became very weak. But at the same time, the Western Church became very powerful. So, the Pope who is from the West became more and more powerful, and the church in the East became very weak. So, when all the churches in the West accepted papacy, Western Church as well as the office of the Pope became so powerful in this world.